make more effort to break the algorithms, what will be happen to the confidentiality?
See, today it's again something like it's more reactive. So any of the technologies happening or threats happening across the globe, it's more reactive. So even though what Kaspersky is doing, it's more reactive. They are not proactive. Other side of the world is more disciplined, more aggressive, more knowledgeable than this side of the world, because they have got a free hand. Over this side of the world, which is a protective hand, it's more restricted hand. So today, if you see, those are well defined. So hackers, how many of you know any hackers, or if you have come across of the hackers things? They are well defined organizations. They get paid leaves, they get trainings, they get incentives. So it's like a well defined organization which they runs. It's not like a security organization which is there in organization. In any organization, how many security personnel you will find? You will find 1 or 2 person. Am I correct or not? So probably it's more reactive, wherein they have got 100 of people who manage this. So it cannot be proactive anytime. So it's every time it will be a reactive only. So what we can do, we can keep ourselves preventive. So today, when we build a house, we may do lot of security arrangements, but we may never guarantee that it may never get theft. So it has to be protected. So I'm not saying we cannot do anything. We will have to be more proactive. We will have to keep monitoring it. Like in home, we do the CCTVs and all. Similarly, we will have to keep monitoring systems. But we can reduce the damage. Obviously, we can reduce the damage. So
my question was completely different.
Yep.
I asked that if you will go on compromising the algorithms, what will be happen to the confidentiality? Because otherwise also we have very least number of algorithms available for maintaining the confidentiality of the transactions or the systems.
correct.
Anyway.
Should I answer or? Yeah. So no, I think he's asking.
So my question was, whenever there is a breach, all hell breaks out in an organization.
Yep.
You yourself mentioned there are 1 or 2 people, maybe
Yep.
CSO and
Yep.
1 or 2 experts.
Correct.
So how really you measure yourself? I mean, in terms of, do you have targets for X number of breach or some certain projects for security? And why I'm asking this question on a very serious note, because whenever there is a bad news, then the security staff is a favorite whipping boy.
Correct.
When everything goes good, there is like,
Correct.
they are doing their day-to-day job. I mean,
Correct.
so just wanted to have some insights on that topic.
So I believe security is something, it cannot be fulfilled without you and I. So if you see in the word of security, it comes you and I. So it means everyone has to participate. It's not only 2 or 3 persons who is there in the organization is supposed to be a security guy. See, yeah, so today there are a lot of mechanism. There are a lot of governing bodies which are there. They do a threat sort of scenarios where you can get your systems checked. So probably there are a lot of things. NASCOM is there, DSAI is there. So probably they do a lot of simulations wherein you can be made ensure that what they will do, they will all of a sudden they will try to do a attack on you. So it will be a known attack, but it will be seen how prepared you are, how readiness your organization is to. So that's one of the best way to get evaluated.
Actually having very sensitive and confidential information about individuals. One is of course the Aadhaar, that is the UIDIA, and second is the credit rating agencies like CIBIL. Could you throw some light on what are the measures that you in CIBIL are taking to ensure that my information is safe with you?
See, it's a good question probably. So it's not only data of you, the working people who work in the credit agencies, our data is also residing over there. And we are a custodians of the data for any of the individuals. So all the measures in terms of the latest technologies what are there. So today, defined budgets are being provisioned for all the organizations in terms of security, and everyone is looking for enhancing their budgets in terms of investment in the security portfolio. So latest technologies, we do a sort of simulations also, how are we protected, and probably the organization try to hire the good resources, the skill set, because today the challenge in India is the skill set. So you need to have a good skill set with hands-on people who are there. So we try to look and hire the good people who can be with us in terms of a long tenure, in terms of protecting the complete things. So every organization is moving towards that side. Plus, we are aligned with the governing bodies also, so that we know what the threat, what all they are getting into, because they get more intelligence feeds from various part of the globe. So every organization is connecting to that too.
Sir, one question I want to ask, please.
Yep.
That'll be the last question, please.
Yeah, last question. Sir, you said that we should install antiviruses and anti-malwares onto our machines. And but if we install those ones, so don't we are giving access to them directly?
Obviously, that's why I said we need to be more sure what we are buying. So there are a lot of antivirus, anti-malwares are available in the market. How do we look for a genuine product? So probably we need to look for a brand. So today what we look for? We look for the price. So that's the first thing what we look for. So if you go, what we try to look for, which is the cheapest available just for a namesake. So that's we should avoid, because security is one of the things which we have to be taken as a serious, because it's we are playing with our data, our own data. So we need to be look for a good options and good brands. Going the data, no antivirus or no agencies gets connected back to the data, because it's a one way. We get downloaded the data over here, so nothing goes with them. So that's the trust which they sign with each individual users.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shiju. I'm sure everyone is wide awake after this talk, and I could figure out the number of questions we had, because most of your sentences ended with either you will realize that your bank account is empty or you will be killed. So I'm sure after that we're all up and absolutely ready for the next talk. We are going to invite a speaker on the stage who's an avid reader and also is a movie buff. He particularly enjoys action movies and horror movies. Well, enough of horror for the day. We should also know what he's going to take us through in terms of the subject he covers. I'm talking about Mr. Joel Divekar, Chief Technology Officer, Creative Antenna. May I please have him on stage with us? So may I request you to take this podium? It will be easy for you to see the screen. I realize from here it's a bit of a struggle. Mr. Joel is an open source enthusiast with over 25 years of management and technical expertise across varied domains and companies. He's worked with companies like Book My Show, Shadi.com, Paytm, Flytex and Npocket, to name a few. Today, Joel's going to talk about secure public ledger blockchain. All yours.
Hello, good afternoon. I am Joel Divekar. It's my pleasure and privilege to stand in front of such a esteemed set of people, and I'm going to talk about a technology which is there for quite some time, and everybody is talking about it, everybody is hearing about it, it's in the news. It's a pep word used by all startups who are looking for funding rather. Okay, I'm going to talk about a technology which can be used for storing data which is immutable. Okay, I'll start off with basic what is blockchain. Blockchain basically was known as blockchain, 2 words. Now with time it has become a 1 word. Okay, nothing great about it, but it's a distributed database using peer-to-peer network to synchronize data and manage data. Okay, what is blockchain? If I don't talk about bitcoins, blockchain will not make any relevance. Today, Bitcoin, which is a virtual currency which has been used by most of the countries legally, is a virtual or cyber currency used to make payments, transactions, trading. Okay, they have been using since the time of inception a database called blockchain. That is what is a key, and every financial organization want to use the best of this technology. Blockchain contains all the information of bitcoins since the time it was manufactured or mined till date. So if there are 100 bitcoins in circulation, it has information of all 100 bitcoins, how they are moved, how they are transacted, which address or which entity owns how many coins or how many currencies of those. This information is historical since the time it started trading in bitcoins. A brief idea about how this Bitcoin address looks like. There are two types of Bitcoin address. I have shown type 1 and type B. There are some addresses, Bitcoin addresses, which start with 1 and some addresses start with 3. Basically, it is to identify individual wallet, user, entity to transact with another user or entity. In an analogy, Bitcoin address is nothing but an email address. So each one of you can have one or many associated with his own wallet, cryptocurrency. Yeah. Okay, this is what I spoke about. So when I want to receive or make a payment to anybody, now I'm talking about bitcoins in this case, I just have to give him an address which will allow him to make a payment to me, or which can allow me to make or transfer money to him. So how this network works? Basically, Bitcoin or blockchain, is set of transactions built into a single block, and these blocks are linked to each other, which forms a chain. So that is why it is called a blockchain. Chain of blocks which are interlinked to each other, and that is how it is. So how are they linked with each other? Whenever a new block is generated, so at this point of time when I'm talking to you, a block is being generated. There are thousands of transactions which are happening. Valid transactions are merged into a single block, and as soon as a secret or random key is generated, this block is sealed and written to a blockchain. As soon as it is written to one database server, it is synced across its peer-to-peer servers spread across whole world. So as soon as a transaction happens, it is percolated to smallest or the singlest node, which is sitting at the corner most of the universe. As I said, blockchain is constantly growing. So as I'm talking, every 10 minutes, a new block is added into a blockchain. So when this block is added, there are a lot of transactions which are getting validated or rejected. So only when a valid transaction happens, a block is built into. So what is a valid transaction? So I would highlight on that. Basically, when I say I want to transfer few bitcoins, okay, or I want to transfer some asset to user B, that time I specify my address, which already accounts for a particular set of asset, in this case Bitcoin, to another address which is a valid address held by one entity. So when I say I want to transfer 5 bitcoins to that entity B, and I put a request on one of the nodes saying I want to do this transaction, there are miners who are sitting out there who pick up this transaction and try to see, is it a valid transaction? So how do they check the validity? They go and check the sender's address, identify, does he really owns that many bitcoins or cryptocurrencies or assets for him to transfer that. So once that is validated, they go and check the recipient. Is this address a valid address? Can he accept the payment? And once that is confirmed, the transaction is considered as a valid, and it is put put into a block to be finally written to a block chain. Okay. Now, when this block is made, how it is made? It has set of transactions. It has a hash of a previous block, and it is added with a secret key or a random key which is generated, and then that block is stored. So how is this key generated? So there are some miners, or you say people who are mining for blockchain. They are basically running high speed computational softwares which are generating random keys. These random keys are matched with a key which is generated for the particular block. As soon as a key is accepted, that block is sealed. That person or that entity which, or the miner who identifies or gets a random key generated, gets paid in this current date 25 bitcoins, and that block is closed. So this is how your bitcoins are mined and stored in blockchain. Now this